Now, once we are done with the initialization state, we can move on to get transaction data. Right here, we can see we'll find get stop signal. There's something that we will be getting from the orchestrator. Suppose in case we have a program or the process being executed. As we can see, it is running right now. I can click on this particular thing and we can find the following options. This will be available to you in the jobs section and that particular job which is being executed. Here, if you are clicking on kill, this will be terminated completely. Else, if you are clicking on stop, if you are just clicking on stop, it will reach over here and this particular result will be true. So as it is true, it will go to the left part of this particular flow and it will assign nothing to it because we have defined if it has no data. If we can just click on this transition, we know if transaction is nothing, we have to move on to end process. So it will directly go to end process and the process will stop. Else, if we haven't clicked that, if I haven't clicked that and I'm proceeding with it, it will directly come right here and it will go into this particular flow. And as we know, the transaction number for the first time will be 1 and the transaction item is Q, right? Okay, so just open this. We are right here. So this is something that we'll be using right now. Get transaction item. This is an activity that is available in your activities panel. This is that particular activity. Going right here, we will see that the inputs that it is expecting is a queue name, which is coming from the configuration file. So as we can see, the queue name right here is orchestrator queue name, which is also available in our configuration file. So this is the name and here is the value. But according to us, the queue that we have to use is grade queue, right? So just copy it and paste it right here. You can just copy paste that format. Yeah. So I've just saved it. So next time, whenever I use this particular key from my dictionary in config of this .toString, it will get this value into this flow. So it will try to pass that particular q underscore q value, grade underscore q value to this. And once that is done, the output can be saved into out transaction data. So there are some things we can use for the filtration. Right now we are leaving them. And then moving ahead here, so the condition that we can see is out transaction item is not nothing. Because if you go with this, whenever you are hitting an queue, you'll get something out of it, right? So if there is something in out transaction item, it will go to the left hand side. Else the transaction item will be set to nothing. In this particular case, you can just drag an activity and say nothing to make it more clear and just assign nothing to it. Anyway, this particular value will be anyway nothing, right? If it is hitting this particular queue and it didn't get any data, this will be anyhow nothing. But this is for just a good understanding we have added into the RE framework. Okay, suppose right now we have something into it. As we already know, there are some transactions available in this queue, right? 1 2 3 4 5. So every time I use this, for the first time it will get the one item from the queue. Second time it will get the second item. Third time it will get the third item. So once that is done, so all these values, if you want, you can keep them or you can remove them. They have to do nothing with your particular process. They are just for the references. Once that is done, assuming that for the first time we will pick this item, which is Ranjit Suresh. Going back to the code, suppose it has picked Ranjit Suresh, and then it will come out of this and it will move on to the process, right? Okay, let's have a quick run of it and see how is whether if we are able to get the information out of that. Let me use a message box right here to see if we are able to fetch the information. Here it's transaction item dot specific content. So this is something that we have to use to display something available in the queue. Okay, in this queue, if we are able to fetch this transaction here, to get the name, you have to use this right here in your code. Just use double quotations and then to string. Done. I have used transaction item because you have assigned transaction out transaction item to the transaction item. Your out transaction item is nothing but the data that you have fetched from the queue. Okay,